The message in our readings today, the lesson that the Lord is teaching us, the lesson that the Lord is inviting us to learn, is one that is very clear, very explicit, hopefully very obvious, and I think one that's very timely. Jesus is, of course, speaking today and telling his disciples about the way we are meant to deal with our wealth, our money. And it's made very clear throughout all of Scripture, and especially in today's readings, that the Lord has a special place in his heart for those who are poor. The Lord has a special place in his heart for those who are in need. And in his nature as love and mercy, he wants to make sure that the poor are taken care of. Those of us who have wealth, those of us who are given the gift of money, are entrusted by the Lord with the care of those who are in need. The Lord has given us these gifts of our income, of our money, of our wealth, so that through us he might take care of those who are poor, who have a special place in his heart. Jesus says in our Gospels today, "Make friends for yourselves with dishonest wealth, so that when it fails, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings." Jesus doesn't say if it fails, Jesus says when it fails. Our earthly wealth, our earthly money, our earthly possessions, at some point are going to fail us. Our world tells us that if we just keep collecting and piling up more and more and more and more, then we're going to be able to provide for ourselves everything that we need. But the reality is, that's not true. Right? The reality is, at some point, every one of us is going to die. At some point, that dishonest wealth, that money, that earthly possessions, is going to fail us, is going to be incapable of providing what we need. And so the Lord is teaching us a lesson that while we have it, we should use it to care for those who are poor. Because the reality is that our excess wealth, right, is meant to help care for those who are in need. One of the fathers of the church, I forget who it is off the top of my head, but one of the fathers of the church said that those extra possessions that we have, the extra money, the extra coat, the extra blanket, the extra food, all of those extra things that we have beyond what we need, he says that those things don't really belong to us. The extra food, the extra coat, the extra blanket, the extra money, that belongs to the poor. And the Lord has given it to us so that we can provide it to them. And in doing so, we can live the life of Christ. We can reflect to them the love of God. And so throughout the history of the church, we have known and received and understood this call that we have to take care of those who are most in need, to care for the poor as Christ cares for the poor. And it seems to me that together as a community, if we are able to pool what we have, we can do more to help the poor than if each of us individually tries. And here at our parish and in our church, it seems that there are two primary ways in which we can come together to care for the poor and to make sure that they have what they need. First, on a very local level here within our parish community and in our parish boundary, kind of the immediate area around our parish church, we work through our St. Vincent de Paul Society here at St. Francis to help those who are most at need kind of within our immediate proximity. On a wider scale, throughout the Archdiocese of Oklahoma City, throughout kind of our wider community, we have the work of Catholic Charities who do so much, right, to provide for those who are most in need, not just money and material help, although those things are essential, right, but also to provide spiritual help, to provide mental help, to preach the gospel to them, to bring Christ to those people in the midst of their poverty, in the midst of their suffering. And in doing so, to bring them closer to Christ so they can know his love. Today we have, as you heard before Mass or in the announcements last week, the annual appeal for the Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Oklahoma City. Together, as we donate to Catholic Charities, as we give to this appeal, we can kind of collectively give more than any one of us can alone and make a greater impact in the lives of so many people who are served by Catholic Charities every year. And so at this time, I'd invite you, there are pledge envelopes at the end of each pew, along with some pens. And we'll take just a few minutes here to fill out these pledge envelopes. On the front side of that card, there's a place for you to fill in what donation you might want to make, that the Lord is calling you to make, along with your contact information. And then on the back side, there's a place to put in your payment information, whether it's by credit card or cash or check, or giving online by scanning that QR code or going to that website. Or if you'd like to do an electronics fund transfer, you can do that as well. Once you've had an opportunity to fill out that card, you can simply tear that card off of the envelope and stick it inside and seal it. In just a few minutes, the ushers will come forward. I'll invite the ushers to come forward to collect those. But right now, we'll just take a few minutes to give us the opportunity to fill these pledge cards out.